Hey there, Taurus, and welcome to your January 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anybody who's working on their personal growth or spirituality in any way. So if those topics and areas of life are intriguing to you right now, I encourage you to go ahead and keep watching. You can use this reading for your sun, moon, or your rising, and it's normal sometimes if they don't resonate, or what usually happens is that they don't resonate at first in the beginning of the month, but then as you go through the month, usually if you think back to this reading, you'll start to kind of pick up on some thematic correlations between your life and the themes that came up in this reading. So I encourage you to go ahead and save this video and come back to it, as it will probably make a little bit more sense and ring a few more bells at the end of the month as well. Okay, for you, Taurus, while I was tuning in during meditation before I started this video, I was given a very powerful impression, and it was really sensation-based. So those of you Taurians out there who are kind of sensation-oriented in life, like if you feel things really strongly, or even if you're clairsentient, this could particularly apply to you in some way. But I had this feeling, almost like that I was on a motorcycle and kind of feeling scared, because obviously I've never ridden on a motorcycle, but I was sort of getting like ready to rev the engine up, and there's this fear of, like, once I really turn this thing on, is it going to just shoot forward, and am I going to kind of like fly off the back of it, or is it going to rear up and be more than I can handle? But then at the same time, as I'm kind of feeling into this, I just kind of hear the motor going, and I just feel this sense of just power, just really strong power kind of at my fingertips, you know? And I feel like this vision is really speaking to you kind of having a lot of either energy to accomplish your goals this month, or just feeling like there's some kind of wind in your sails right now. And I think that the message is really to move with this. I think that the message is really to think about what you want, Taurus, and then just go after it. Unapologetically, you know, it doesn't mean that you have to be impulsive or not be practical. You're always gonna be practical. I mean, you're a Taurus. But there is this sense of like, feel this energy, like feel this energy that's here to support you, Taurus. You have such an incredible ability to move forward towards your goals this month in January. And also I feel in the first quarter of 2020, like there's just a sense of really you having the, almost like the gas in your tank, you know? So it's like, take advantage of that. Like take on maybe a new adventure, or take on something that feels exciting to you, and try not to take on too much, obviously, because we know where that can lead. But if there's something that you're excited about, that you're like, you know what, I feel like I can finally direct some of my energy into this, and I've wanted to do it for a long time, the message is go for it right now, Taurus. Like the energy is ripe. You are being supported. You are being guided. And so that's kind of your message. Let's take a look at your cards, and we'll see what else wants to come through on that for you. Taurus. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. This is the Borderless Centennial Smith Tarot. And I'm also going to get you some messages from your animal spirit guides for the month, because I feel like we learned so much through the symbolism of the animal world. So let's take a look for you, Taurus. We've got zebra and nightingale. as the crossing energy. Wow, I'm laughing because so much was coming through about that, like, almost like the horsepower of the motorcycle, and like the revving of the engine and the feeling of having gas in your tank, and the ability to kind of make a big leap or a stride. And then we get zebra as your path, which is so spot on for that energy. It's like you do have the horsepower this month. You do have that ability to go to new places and to see things differently as well. This also doesn't surprise me because the zebra card in this deck is associated with, other cultures and international travel and seeing things through a different perspective, like maybe a foreign, culture's perspective on a particular aspect of life, and really being able to embrace that, that's different from where you come from, but you're seeing commonality, or you're seeing something that invokes a sense of curiosity within you. So embracing things that are different, embracing people that are different, embracing, like I said, other cultures, or even international travel. And that actually makes a lot of sense because for you, the Capricorn stellium that we have going on throughout this month, which is pretty intense, and we also have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, all of that energy is happening symbolically in your 9th house, which is all about foreign travel and other languages and, study as well, education, travel abroad, that type of thing. So we're seeing a really strong emphasis on this in your life, not only this month, but this year. So this could be a theme for you right now, but it could also be a theme that's going to evolve and continue to become a bigger and bigger theme in your life throughout 2020. The influencing energy is the Nightingale. And this is about really finding your own voice and using it the way that you feel that you need to. So I think of the nightingale as kind of like the oddball in the bird family, because you do get some other night birds for sure, but in most places, at least where I have been, there aren't as many birds that sing at night as there are birds that sing, at dawn or at dusk or, during the day. So the nightingale is kind of that creature that is willing to sort of stand alone sometimes and be like, you know what, I don't care that it's midnight. I'm going to sing my song right now, or I'm going to do it right here. It feels right. So there's a sense of kind of embracing as well with the nighttime energy of this card in connection with zebra that has a lot to do with maybe like your dream life, and you could dream about strangers. This month you could have dreams about, like I'm speaking of literal dreams that you have while you're asleep. You might dream of something that feels very out of left field with the zebra card, but it ends up being kind of an aspect of your inner voice that's speaking to you. So pay special attention to your dreams, especially the ones that feel really foreign or like oddball. I know every once in a while I will actually dream in Spanish, even though Spanish is just a second language for me, and I haven't taken it in years, but sometimes I'll just dream whole dreams in like conversational Spanish. So there could be something like that going on for you, but it's probably a sign, whatever is going on in your subconscious that feels like it's kind of playing around with new or foreign themes. That's definitely something to watch. So let's take a look at your tarot cards, and we'll get some more play-by-play of the month. So we've got Page of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, the Moon, Knight of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, the Chariot, and the 5 of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay, I'm just tuning in. Okay, I'm getting it. So it looks like as we go into the month of January, so with the Page of Swords, you're taking aim, you know, as you go into the year of 2020, you probably have some ideas about what you want to accomplish both this year and in this new decade. And you're, you know, fittingly being represented here as a page, which is showing that you're just at the start. Like, this is a real fresh new beginning, and you're looking at it with logic. You're looking at it rationally. You're writing things down. You're taking notes. You are learning as well, like making the intention to learn and master new skills with this Eight of Pentacles here. But I feel like there's something about the energy that shifts around the middle of the month, which is that lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Cancer on January 10th. There's this energy with a big focus here. So I want to talk about that. It feels to me like the first part of the month, though, you're kind of going in with really strong intentions. You have some kind of an idea of something you want to work on. But then as we get into this eclipse, I don't want you to be discouraged, Taurus, if some of your ideas become either feel a little bit disjointed, or if something in your life proves to be a little bit like confusing for you somehow, okay? Because there's an energy with this moon. I mean, the moon card came up during the week, symbolically representing, you know, this lunar eclipse week in your spread. And look at the face on the moon here. I mean, it's kind of focused, but at the same time, it's kind of uncertain about something. There's something that remains hidden here. There's something that remains it's remaining a little bit kind of clandestine, you know? And the message here with the Seven of Cups as well, there's this shrouded energy with the being that is underneath the sheet, okay? So something that maybe as you started the year you kind of felt clear about, there could be a little period where you're not so sure or not so certain about it. And I don't want you to be discouraged, like I said. I don't want you to feel like hard on yourself, because I think that once you emerge from that eclipse energy, which, you know, the moon is going to be opposing this enormous stellium in Capricorn that we all have going on. And for you, it's the 3rd and 9th houses of your chart where this is happening. And so it is going to be about forward motion, I think, like where you go in life and sort of what your decisions are on that, like the direction is going to be a big theme. And it's possible that you could have either some new information come in that shakes things up, or that you experience a phase of new information even coming from within you, which is causing you to, I want to say prune back some of your options, but I don't see you having like absolute clarity on that until the 3rd week of January. So just don't feel bad if you feel a little uncertain, because by the 3rd week, we have the Knight of Pentacles and then moving into the Two of Cups. So this is you kind of going, so let me show you what I'm seeing as I look at these cards. You go from the Page of Swords, which is like kind of how you entered the year, right? But then underneath that, so by the 3rd week of January, you're kind of more solidly focused on something. You have more underneath you that's supporting you, because this one is on the horse, whereas here he's on foot. And then also look at this Eight of Pentacles that's like in the top row. So there's these 8 pentacles and he's just working on one at a time. Here he just has one, but he's got more of the horse underneath him. It's so funny now that I'm looking at this, I could almost see this person as like them being on a motorcycle, right? And kind of wearing their accoutrements, like their leather jacket and their helmet, and, you know, just kind of being in that space where they're kind of revving the engine and sort of getting ready to go. And that's kind of the feeling that I get from this card. So it shows that what really gets you going, what really gets you in that place of empowerment where you have that clarity and that sense of direction, is reducing some of your options. And I feel like that's going to happen naturally around this lunar eclipse. You might be thinking of 5 things you want to focus on in 2020. By the time you get to the 3rd week, there could only be 3. That's kind of the energy I see. It's like, okay, you know what? I think I put a little too much on here, or, a couple of these things aren't as exciting to me as I thought they were. And so I'm really just going to focus on this one thing, or this couple of things. And we also see that with the 2 of Cups. So this is what really opens the door for harmony for you. This is what opens the door for balance and integration. So in a mundane sense, yes, this card can relate to new romantic unions happening, or a marriage even, or a ritual that cements, your intentions with another person, or getting to meet someone for the first time and feeling like a really strong sense of connection, either on a business level, like professionally, or romantically and personally. But you are moving into this like place of greater harmony and kind of peacefulness, but it does represent a reduction in kind of like what you're trying to do in the beginning of the month. And that kind of period of reduction or pruning is happening around the eclipse. So hopefully that makes sense. By the end of the month, you feel really empowered with the Chariot. And, sometimes when I see the Chariot with the 5 of Pentacles, one thing about the Chariot is that he actually can represent someone who's like an activist, or someone who is protecting those who can't protect themselves, right? And here we have this kind of activist energy, we have this warrior protector energy, and then we have this image of people who seem like they're sort of hard done by, and maybe they can't really protect themselves. They seem like they're in kind of a vulnerable position in life, and because of that, they maybe rely on energies and people that are like this, which are more kind of organized, or more set up, or more have access to more resources, that are trained to be able to create a positive impact or to keep the order. In a way, the Chariot could also, I think, from the way I'm describing it right now, it could represent like the positive aspect of law enforcement, for example, kind of making sure that people who can't defend themselves, or who find it more difficult to defend themselves, or who are in a more vulnerable position, don't get just taken advantage of and stomped on by other people who want to take advantage of them. So there's kind of like there's an energy here that's sort of subtle, but it's like the person who has the ability to help and the people who need the helping. And this could be playing out in that way in your life somehow, Taurus, where you could be maybe making plans to travel somewhere, right? To do some kind of humanitarian work. That can be a meaning of these cards. It could also mean that if you are planning on traveling, or if you're traveling at the end of the month, there could be a sense of preparation financially that's being indicated here, and making sure that you're not stretching yourself too thin, financially speaking, or making sure that you're not kind of overspending, right? That can also be an element here that I could see, like where you are kind of embodying both of these energies. It's like, yes, you're ready to travel and you're going for it, but then at the same time, there's these practical considerations to make sure that they're being accounted for. But, there's a feeling of connection that I get from this bottom row of cards that I don't normally, I don't really see that in the first row. So by the second part of the month, it feels like a lot of your intentions for the year, especially as they pertain to your relationships with other people, or how you engage with life in general, your intentions are sort of being grounded into reality. Like they're being grounded into manifestation, and that is going to come through primarily in your dealings with others at the end of the month, or in the second half of the month. It's almost like you start out kind of idealistic, rational and logical, but at the same time idealistic, and thinking about everything that you want to do. And then by the end of the month, those desires are actually beginning to materialize in your life, and they're simplifying themselves as they take shape in physical reality. So you may not be trying to work with all 8 of these pentacles anymore. You might just be working with one of them, but that frees up your energy to have better relationships with your primary partner or with, somebody in your personal life, but also with your customers and clients and people that you work with, networking, people that are part of your industry. You're having more peaceful and kind of simple, enjoyable relationships as a result of you kind of simplifying things around the middle of the month. And I also see potentially travel with the Chariot. And also maybe that you're able to help someone out by traveling. Maybe this isn't even, if you're planning to travel with the Chariot, you could be having somebody that could benefit, could be maybe you're paying them to watch your house while you're gone or something. There could be something like that as well. Travel for a charitable purpose also can come up here for some of you. And again, you could be planning that at the end of the month, or you could actually be leaving on that journey at the end of the month. These are general readings, so it's really hard to say. But I do see some kind of desire for helping. I see you as a helper, and maybe that desire to help is also what is kind of changing and pruning back and helping you reprioritize your goals for the year. Okay, Taurus, I hope this is helpful to you in some way. I see you making a lot of strides forward. I think that around that 3rd week of January, you should feel a lot of certainty and a sense of being grounded and empowered to take action and go places that you want to go and to really make meaningful connections with others. So I think that 3rd week of January, your energy is just on freaking point. And then from there forward, I see a lot of movement and motion happening with the Chariot as well. So the latter half of January, be prepared because it's going to move quick, but take opportunities at that time, okay? So those are the messages I'm able to give you today. I hope this reading has been helpful. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this reading, and also leave me a comment with a little globe emoji below, a little earth emoji if you can, or just write the word earth and let me know that you're still here. I absolutely love seeing those from you guys, and it just gives me such a little burst of joy hearing from you, and it's just a real joy to connect with you. So thank you so much for being here on my channel, Taurus. I'm sending you so much love and blessings for not only your month in January, but your year in 2020. I hope it starts out and continues to be a time of great blessing for you. Okay, Taurus, I will talk to you next time, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.